Welcome to Mixtapes and Mopeds with Red Wheels Panda. Yeah, we do know it's the fastest growing podcast on the planet, and we everybody likes to remind us it's the fastest growing podcast on the planet. Hey, Panda,
Hey,
I was back in the motherland this last week in the great town of Lancaster, Ohio. Yeah, by the way, we love you everywhere. But Lancaster, I walked into this is a great story. It's kind of just weird. I walked into a flower store. I had to order some flowers, and I look around and I hear my name or I hear my voice playing in the background. I'm going, what the heck is that? And I look up, and of course, it's somebody you and I graduated high school with. And there she is watching the Red Wheels Panda podcast from about a couple weeks ago.
that's
All right.
crazy. That is
We have a
absolutely
following
crazy.
in the motherland. The motherland is following. Thank you. And big shout out to the Floral Art Boutique. Big shout out. You ever need flowers in the Fairfield County, go to the Floral Art Boutique and go see those ladies there. They did a wonderful job. Hey, this is going to be one of our greatest shows ever. You know why? Because we've got the two first listeners we invited on the podcast. Welcome today. We have Jack the Man Young coming to us, and we have Stone Wheeler. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hey,
We got a
guys.
great show for you today because it's going to be, we're going to get the 20-year-old, the 19-year-old perspective. And we got a couple of segments in here. One of them's going to be stump your dad, or what do we call the newlywed game? What do we say it was? The
You
you
don't
don't
know.
know
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
You don't know dad. So this week we had a great show here in Alpharetta. Andy, you were over there. What did you go see in Alpharetta?
Yeah. So we were both over there. We weren't there together, but we were at the Sammy Hagar show,
Same
which,
show.
yes, it
You
was.
had told me that. Then you texted me and like a hidden thing, and I'm like, uh, we had some out of towners coming in, and we were supposed to meet some other, and I would have said, hey, I would go, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah. Well, it was, I've been trying to catch up on a lot of bucket show bands that were my bands from the 80s, whatever. A lot of them have died or don't play anymore. So Van Halen, with Eddie Van Halen dying, that ended. I never got to see him, but Sammy Hagar put this tour together and put together an amazing band to come play Van Halen
How about
songs.
that list of people, you guys playing on the instruments, man? Jason Bonham. First, start off right there. That guy on the
Sure.
drums,
Yeah,
unbelievable.
his dad was Led Zeppelin drummer. He's amazing. You and I have seen him in his band when they came through a couple years ago. Amazing drummers. Joe Satriani on guitar playing Eddie's stuff. Like literally, if you closed your eyes, you wouldn't know there wasn't Eddie Van Halen playing there. And then Michael Anthony on bass, who was the Van Halen bass player. So with Sammy was one of the singers of Van Halen. So they did a phenomenal job. I mean, you and I talked a little bit, but it was an amazing performance. They had a lot of energy and they played a lot, mostly the Sammy Hagar version songs, but they also played some David Lee Roth songs, Panama and Talking About
Fantastic. I mean,
Love. Yeah,
sounded
yeah,
just like the back of the days.
yeah.
And for 76 years old, that guy was jumping all around the stage, having a good time, yelling out the crowd, just having a blast.
Throwing down some tequila, drinking out of the
Do you
bottle of
think it
tequila.
was? I'm looking at that going, that's water. There's no way at 76 years old that guy's chugging a bottle of tequila. There's no way. And still being able to get out those lyrics.
Yeah, yeah, that was great, and I'll shout out to Loverboy. Jack knows we went to see them open up for Foreigner last year, and they were terrible. And then the year before, I saw them; they were actually good. So I was wondering what we would get last night, and they were actually very good. So it was good, nice opener. But the star of the show was Sammy and that crew. They did a phenomenal job. It was, and the weather was perfect. Thank God, it wasn't 96 degrees and humid. It was,
Perfect. It was
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Bunch of 65-year-olds, 70-year-olds out there jamming to Sammy
Yeah,
Hagar. It was
yeah,
definitely the gray crowd, without a question.
Absolutely was. Yeah.
Well, listeners, thank you. We got some great feedback this last week, and of course, the everybody wants to hear about the Buckeyes. So a couple of those questions we had coming out there, Panda, we've got two of them. Kind
Two
of relevant
questions.
to probably our favorite team out there.
Yeah.
And that first big question, I'm going to throw it your way for the first question. And the question out there: what was your favorite Buckeye football player of all time?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go like old school, and this is gonna be a non-sexy choice. It's an obvious choice, but just growing up, this guy was the man. And Archie Griffin, I mean, the only two-time Heisman winner. There's been some greats, Chris Carter, Terrell Pryor was amazing. All these quarterbacks, a string of quarterbacks with C.J. Stroud and all those guys. But I really had to go back to what I think is the greatest Ohio State football player of all time. And I was just barely old enough to really remember him play. And yeah, so that's that.
You could chalk him up on anybody's list. I mean,
Yeah,
two-time
yeah,
winner and an
yeah,
exceptional person too.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
right.
He was. He
Checks all the
is.
boxes.
He
Yep.
is. So what about you, Steve-O?
I had trouble with this one because we have a lot of good ones. C.J. Stroud recently, like you said, and then go down the list of wide receivers. Holy crap! How many wide receivers are out there? That just too many. Just even recently, what we had off the team. But I've gone a little old school because he was one of my favorite players, and I think he was on one natty, and then we didn't get the next two that were coming up. But Teddy Ginn,
Oh,
um, that guy playing on both sides of the ball, he was just amazing to watch.
well,
Um,
yeah. You just said it. All those receivers that have come through Ohio State, and many of them had better professional careers. But I don't think there was anybody in college that was more electric than Ted Ginn when the ball got in his hand. And if he got a step on you, it was over. It was gone.
it was over.
Nobody was catching him. Yeah, he was, and punt returns. I've never seen a guy. I don't know how many he had, but I was at the Michigan game one year, and he returned a punt, and he just blew past the Michigan defenders. It was yeah, that's a really great call. Yeah, he's an amazing college player for sure.
Jack, what do you think? Who was your favorite?
So it took almost everything in me to not say CJ Stroud, but that would be a little bit
Well, you're the
biased because
Texan fan, right?
Yeah,
exactly,
exactly.
Come
exactly.
on,
That's
you can be a
why
homer. You could be a homer.
his success in the NFL was the big reason I love him so much. So I have a different answer, and I have to go with Ezekiel Elliott for sure.
Oh,
It's a good
see,
one.
So
Yeah, yeah,
see,
we
yeah,
were we
yeah.
were all
That's
there at that playoff game against
yeah,
Alabama.
yeah.
Uh, at that time, I was still pretty young. I wasn't a huge Buckeye fan yet, but I know you all remember the play when he broke that tackle or broke whatever
Mhm,
to go 70 plus yards for the touchdown.
mhm.
For whatever reason, that was the moment. That was the moment when I knew I was going to be a Buckeye fan. I was like, "Yeah, I am." Yeah, that was just electric. It's got to be Ezekiel.
We, I remember some of the video from that, and like all you guys were going crazy, and it was we had the view because we were on the end zone, like the upper end zone, and we were on behind the High State line of scrimmage, right? Or he was running away from us? Or was he running towards us?
Away from us, I think.
Yeah, he was running away from us, and so we saw it all develop, and then boom, it's like 80. So I guess they call it 85 yards through the
Oh,
heart of the South, whatever. But yeah,
mhm.
that was an amazing play. I remember that well.
Yeah.
good call. I'll bet you, Stone. What was yours?
I can't believe none of y'all brought up his name. I'm gonna have to go with the player that got me starting on loving Ohio State football, Braxton Miller. Braxton
Oh,
Miller.
oh,
That's a good pick.
Yes,
If he
yes.
never
yes.
injured his shoulder, I think he really could have been up there, one of the greats, and had a good NFL career too. But even when we put him at receiver, he was unbelievable to watch. He was my favorite player.
Do you remember that game against Virginia Tech where he went around the left end and did that spin at full
Mm-hmm.
speed? I've never seen anybody do that. That was like inhuman. Like, how do you do that?
And we didn't even know if he was gonna really like be a part of the team at that
Yeah,
point because that was his first time back at wide receiver after hurting his shoulder.
yeah, yeah. He was an electric athlete. I remember against Penn State, I think it was his sophomore year, maybe, I don't know, one of those. And he was the quarterback that year, and we had the ball like on the 3 yard line, and the Penn State guys completely were there. He was like rolling to the right, and the defenders were there, and he literally did one of those like jump steps backwards and then to his left and then into the end zone. Like that's just a
Oh
pogo
yeah,
stick. You
Mhm.
remember that
golly,
play?
yeah,
That was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
insane. Yeah, and he was a good thrower. He had a good arm and he could throw the ball, but he was, man, when he got in the open field, he was almost like a Teddy Ginn at quarterback. He was tough to bring down and he was pretty quick too. Yeah, that's a great call. Yeah,
Pick.
he would have probably been an all-timer if he hadn't gotten that shoulder hurt. I agree with you.
Look at us. How many we left all the defensive players?
I
AJ Hawk,
know.
Bobby Carpenter,
Boy,
Yeah.
Laurinaitis.
I wasn't
I
even
mean, how
thinking
many
Yeah.
about
defensive
that.
players?
The big
Our
cat, Andy
quarterback.
Katzenmoyer, Chris
That's
Spielman.
right. We had so many good. I mean, so many quarterbacks that were awesome back in the day. Not as much
Jack
recent, but
Jack Tatum. You know who
oh,
was really good from that Super or Rose Bowl year was Sean Springs, the
oh,
cornerback. Do you remember him? He went
one of the
like
best
third.
ever.
He was
Did
like
he?
third overall pick in the draft. He was
Did he go to the
amazing.
Raiders?
He went to the Redskins, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Washington. He may have ended up with the Raiders maybe at the end of his career, but yeah, he was amazing.
That guy
Yeah,
was a stud.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, he was.
All right. Next one is the favorite basketball player of all time. Uh, who
Yeah.
wants to take that one? Let's go start off there. Stone, who do you think favorite
All right.
basketball player all time?
So I couldn't choose between two guys, kind of old timers for me, just because, I kind of got into watching college basketball because of these guys. I'm gonna go Aaron Kraft
Mhm.
and then D'Angelo Russell.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I'm
I
taking
forgot
names
about.
off the board here. Both
Oh
those two
yeah.
were complete opposites. I'd say Kraft, like a 4-year guy, he grinded out every time, just unbelievable. And then D'Angelo Russell, one and gone, but that one year, man, was he good. He was the best player I've watched at Ohio State.
He was amazing. You know what I saw this week on Instagram? I think Aaron Kraft is now Dr. Aaron Kraft. He just got he's now a doctor, but he's playing in that, that summer basketball league where all the Buckeye players play. He was out there playing and just dropping dimes and doing the Aaron Kraft stuff. And he looks like he could still play. It's crazy. Yeah, he
Loved
was,
watching that guy. That's a
yeah,
good pick there, Stone. I loved Aaron Kraft.
yeah.
Jack, who's your
All right.
favorite?
I immediately had my answer, although it is kind of a weird one, for sure, a weird one. But my favorite Ohio State basketball player is Keita Bates Diop.
Woo,
For
yes.
whatever
That's not
reason,
weird. That's
it's not. Yeah, you're right. But for whatever reason, I just immediately got attached to him. He was like a mini Kevin Durant, and I could have sworn that he was destined for some amazing things in the league. But yeah, he's still team bouncing right now. But I could
yeah.
have sworn that he was the next big thing, dude. He was like a mini Durant, like actually.
He really was, and he was Big Ten Player of the Year his last year there. I mean, he was a legit stud. But yeah, there's only one KD apparently, and Kata didn't quite have that, but he's been in the league for 6-7 years
Yeah,
now. He's
I gotta
just not.
say that one we were watching it in the living room. That one play against or I guess it was multiple plays against Penn State. He was the best player on the ever
Yeah,
that one day.
yeah.
He could not miss.
I think it was the same game where he got a rebound and was facing away from the basket and put it up behind his head and laid it up. And I'm like, he didn't even see the rim and it went in perfectly. And then he made a 3-pointer from like 30 feet to like win the game, I think. Yeah, he was.
Good call, Jack.
I was a fan.
Well,
Steven, what about you?
When Pan and I first came to Atlanta, we used to go to the Buckeye Club and watch both football and basketball. And one of the leaders of the whole club, and there's about 400 people in this club. And one of the guys we were on the board, and one of the leaders was part of the 1960s Ohio State championship basketball team. I couldn't pick this. I really, I knew because of him, I kind of did. And Bobby Knight and John Havlicek were on that team, and Jerry Lucas. And I was going to go there and go pick one and go, I don't know who those guys were. I'm going to go with where we had one of the most best times of watching. I got to go with, and I still can't go between Jim Jackson or Chris Gent. I'm going to go with Chris Gent as being my favorite. Very Aaron Craftish.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the first Aaron Kraft. That guy would just be all over the court as a defensive dude. He didn't. I mean, he scored some points, but just not a ton. But he hustled like nobody's business. That was a fun team to watch too.
That was he was, like you said, Aaron Kraft was a point guard. Chris Gent was 6'7". He was like a forward. But literally, he would get floor burns. He was on the floor like 5 times a game, diving after a ball. He would have marks up and down his arm, and then he'd knock down 3 threes from like 28 feet, and ended up having a nice little NBA career. And I think he now coaches. But yeah, he was our kind of our Aaron Kraft back in the day. Yeah. Very popular, although he missed that damn shot in Lexington to beat Michigan.
I know it was him, and why they didn't pick Jim Jackson to go take that shot? You're looking, going, "What are you doing, Coach?
Come on,
right?
Yes.
Give it to the man."
Yeah,
they thought Jackson would be covered. That's why they threw it to Jet.
yeah. So I'm glad you took Gent because I loved him, but yeah, I definitely am going Jimmy Jackson. He was, I think. Well, Jack, you were just being born in Houston. Jimmy Jackson played in Houston back then. He was a really good long-term, like 12, 14-year NBA player, but not like I think he averaged 27 one year, but he was more just like a rebounder, assist. He would be like a 18 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists kind of guy. But at Ohio State, I mean, that was kind of unusual back in those days in college. And he was like a 6'6" kind of point forward, and just every clutch shot that they needed as a true freshman for his 3 years there. Every clutch shot he took, except for the one in Lexington that we mentioned earlier. But he was just an all-around player, good guy, team player. So I had to go Jimmy Jackson. So I'm glad you took Gent there. But yeah, I think 4 really good choices on Okay Hoopsters.
All right. Thanks for the questions, audience. Keep posting. We check all the platforms every week. We love feedback and questions. Up next, Mr. Panda.
Yeah.
Segment 1.
All right.
What's coming up?
So this was actually Miss Jill's idea, and it was taking us about a little bit of time to kind of figure out when we could do this. But those of us a little bit older remember the Newlywed Game. So Bob Eubanks was the guy, and they would have like 4 or 5 newlyweds, and they'd come out and they would ask the men questions about their wives that the wives would have previously answered. And then they would switch the roles and they would ask the women questions about the men. And then the winner would take home some stupid prize, door prize, whatever. Like wasn't great, but there was a lot of actually comedic value to that show. There's some stuff that I wouldn't even repeat here. There's one in particular that I know of.
I'm thinking of it right now. Too,
Yeah.
I'm not repeating it.
Not repeating it here.
Not repeating it.
But anyway, so she had this idea, like, wouldn't it be cool to bring on
That'd be in the butt, Bob.
Okay, so you're gonna do it. All right. Alrighty. Yes. But Jill had the idea to bring our sons on and kind of do a dad son dad version of that. So what we are calling it is You Don't Know Dad. And so what we're going to do is we're going to ask 10 questions of each of the boys, and whoever gets the most wins. Of course, this is really more about the fun. There are no door prizes, unfortunately, for either of you. So it'll be just a matter of personal pride, and we think it could be fun. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go from 1 to 10, and we're going to ask each guy a question about their dad, and we're going to see how much they know about us. So that's the setup.
Question number 1. Jack will be up first, Stone up second. Guys, give out your answer, and then we'll let you know if you're right or wrong. And the first one is, which Disney character is your dad most like? Which Disney character is your dad most like? Jack, you're up first. What
Okay.
Disney character reminds you of your dad?
I'm trying to think the difference between Disney and like DreamWorks, and that's all one thing to me.
Let's just say that it's a fictional cartoon character of some kind, whether it's Disney or DreamWorks or whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Okay,
Cartoon
well,
character. Cartoon
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of a gimme. The first thing that came to my mind was Kung Fu Panda. Like, come on.
Boom! You got it.
Boom! Let's go.
Wow.
It's gotta
All right, Stone. He's got a point.
I'm
Jack?
really struggling here. I got no thoughts coming into this mind.
Pick one.
I'm just gonna go Mr. Incredible with no reason behind it.
Of course, your dad's gonna pick Goofy.
I like
Goofy.
that. You know what? This is really weird. There's really no connection. The first thing that popped in my head was Alvin the Chipmunk.
What's the song? What's the song they sing?
Alvin!
Alvin! What?
Yeah. All right. So jack up 1-0. Here we go. Question 2. Name a place that your dad, obviously not where currently, but where your dad has lived.
Name any place that you've lived.
Yeah, you just gotta
Columbus,
get
Ohio.
one.
Oh, Lancaster, Ohio.
Let's exclude Lancaster, Ohio.
Okay. Houston, Texas.
Okay, you got it. That's where you were born, so you
That's
should
where I was
have
born.
that.
So
Yeah. All right. Stone. Non-Lancaster in Atlanta.
Non-Lancaster and Atlanta. You've lived somewhere other than Lancaster and Atlanta?
Yeah, he
Mhm.
has. Yes, he has.
Let's go with Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right, good enough. 0
Got
to
it.
3 years old. That's close enough.
No, if you live there, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. 2-1.
2 to
Well
1.
done. Well
All
done.
right, question number 3. All right, you got to name both the majors. This is both the majors. What did your dad, not majors, excuse me. What, yeah, we had both majored in 2 different things during our college.
Oh.
And what did we graduate with and what else did we start with? Stone, who did we start with here? We did, all right, Stone. What were my 2 majors?
So you started with electrical, and then you graduated with industrial and systems.
Oh man, that's not fair. Okay. Yep, good. That's
wow,
Well done.
I didn't
Well
think
done.
you would have known the first one.
that's
Mhm.
crazy because I'm completely lost right now.
Yeah, I don't think Jack's gonna get this, but give it a shot there, big guy.
You give me a vibe of like a business major. So let's say you started with business. No, I'm gonna say you ended with business and started with mechanical engineering.
Oh, very close, but not quite. I started with computer science and
Oh,
finished with a business degree. So yes,
Okay.
very close, but not quite. So that
okay.
ties the score. We are 2-2.
2-2.
All right. Here, this is okay. This is going to be a kind of a layup for you. What is our favorite all-time vacation while you were alive? It's not a vacation spot. It is a vacation. Which vacation
So
was the best one that we all attended while you were alive? Stone, go ahead.
so this is like a family vacation.
Yeah, your family vacation of all the ones you've been on since you remember.
The 4
Which
of
one?
us. You know, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
include everybody. The 4 of us.
Okay. I'm gonna go with one of the Hilton Head ones with all 3 groups together because I feel like those were just top tier, so much fun all together.
Which one?
I can't name years, man. I'm not that advanced. I'll
That's your-
I'll just hope I land on a year 2014.
Okay, I'm not going to give the answer up yet. Before I give what we gave the answer. So Jack, go ahead.
My
Okay.
answer was gonna be the 3 family Hilton Head trip where we lived in Caligny.
So
Walking distance.
Oh, that one in Oh, wow. Yeah.
that is an amazing trip, and we were talking about that earlier. But My personal favorite trip was the cross country RV tour that we
Oh,
took for 2 weeks.
I should have got that.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my favorite one. We
Yeah.
got to did all
That's
that.
okay. This one, everybody gets a point. There's no wrong answer. We just wanted to see what you guys said. So my answers, I couldn't pick one, quite frankly. I had all the ones in Palmetto Dunes. So the one you were talking about, Stone, was the 4-story townhouse, I think, was 2014. We had the Spider House. Remember the Spider House? With
That was Charleston, I thought.
no,
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 I
the
didn't
Crab
even have
House.
Charleston
That
on
was the
here.
crab house.
That's the Crab House. We had the house by the Marriott Club. Remember that one?
Yeah.
That was a
Can
good
I,
one. Then we had the house with the elevator. I think Jack was talking about.
Yeah.
Then we've had a couple with the Philippex out there. We had the house with a hot tub and the challenges with Marcus.
Can I sidetrack on the crab house and elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. So I was the youngest in the family. So obviously I'm not going to get the best selection on rooms. Actually, the youngest out of 3 families. So I get put in the basement, and it's an unfinished basement. There's a bed kind of down there, and the parents are like, "Oh, it's not that bad. Like you'll be good down there." And the first night, it's like, "Oh, mom, like something was crawling on me during the night. I don't know. Something was down there." And they were like, like you'll be good. Like
Suck it up.
there's nothing down there. And then the second night, like they come down and check on me in the middle of the night, and there's like 10 little crabs crawling all over my bed, all through the floors, like everything. And I got moved onto
Ken,
the
you're
floor.
being kind. There was 100. If
They were
there was 100,
everywhere.
I flipped open that light and I went, "Oh my god!"
That is the craziest thing. When you told me that story, I couldn't believe it. That is
You
crazy.
go, ow! At least it wasn't cockroaches. It was crabs.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Worse yet, so we stick him on a tent up on in the one of the other bedrooms. We would go lay out this tent, and man, that carpet in that room smelled like a dog had just gotten a bath and laid on the. You go, oh my gosh! I don't know if it's better, but at least there's no crabs crawling on it. Yeah, you guys, you're the youngest. You get the back end of always
Yeah,
the worst. The
Poor
bad
Stone.
room.
You always got put in the hallway or somewhere, a couch somewhere.
That's right. He spent I don't know how many. When he was a baby,
A closet.
he was in the
I think we were in a closet one year.
That was a really good one. Okay.
3-3. Question 5.
3-3. I don't think either one of you are going to get this next one.
Uh-oh.
Where did your parents get married?
I'm going to say San Diego.
Ooh,
Ding, 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 ding. Nice.
Wow.
Stone, where did your parents get married?
Italia. Italy.
Nope, that's where your dad proposed to your mom. That's not where
that's
he
what I
got
was.
married.
That's what I was going for. Okay, can I get another guess now? Because I knew that's where
Sure.
you proposed. I thought that's what you meant. Like you
go
put
ahead.
the ring on it.
No. Put the ring
okay.
on it. He's sorry, Mom. He's really sorry.
Where did you like get married? Married? South Florida. Florida.
Big Canoe, Georgia. All right, Mr. Panda.
Okay, question 6. Jack, who is your dad's favorite professional athlete?
Oh, that's a really good question.
That's a toughie.
All time?
All time.
Oh, man. I feel like you were really never you like professional teams, but you're not like a diehard for any of the teams. So I'm kind of thinking more player rather than team.
No, this is a professional athlete.
Athlete. So it's a single player.
Single player.
Shout one out.
We have posters of him back in the old house. Is it Ken Griffey Jr.?
No, good guess. I don't really talk a lot about people I idolize, but the only one I've talked about at least any extent is Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench was my idol growing up. I was a catcher. He was a catcher. He was the best catcher ever. He played for the Reds. It was my team. So yeah, he was definitely my favorite professional athlete.
Okay.
All right, Stone. You've had a lot of time to think.
All right, I'm gonna have to go with Smoltz, Maddox, or Glavin,
Oh, good God.
and I'm
I-
gonna say Smoltz.
I had down here as my first answer was Greg Maddux. So you were close, and I changed it while we were talking here to Tiger Woods because I thought about it later today. I was like, Tiger Woods probably between Tiger Woods, uh, Greg Maddux, and Michael Jordan. Those three, man, those were the three of my athletes. I loved watching any one of them. But I know if golf is on and Tiger's in, I'm turning that channel and watching Tiger every single time. All right, what are we at? What question are we on?
Number 7.
I think everybody's going to get this one right. Would your dad rather go to a sporting event, a world movie premiere, or a rock concert? Stone. What would
I'm
I
gonna have
rather
to
go
go.
to?
I'm gonna have to go sporting event.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep, that's a no-brainer for me. Jack?
I believe it would be a rock concert.
Ding, ding, ding. Got
There
it
we
right.
Wow.
What's the
All
score
right,
here?
next one.
What's the
Next
score?
one maybe.
Leave
Next
them
one
up
maybe.
5-4.
5-4, Jack. Okay. All right.
Lose
So
Go ahead.
question 8. Stone. What is your dad's favorite food type? Not a
Anything
dish.
spicy. I'll go. Do I have to be more specific than Asian food?
No, you do not.
Asian food.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, I think
Yep.
I know it.
Panda's a little hard on this one.
Yeah.
There's only a few, but he's a little harder.
I would have to say Italian food for the pizza.
That's my number 2. Mexican food is
Oh.
mine.
Oh.
No.
I was stuck between 3. I was going to either pizza,
Yeah.
burger. The burger was
Yes.
where I was going, and then Mexican
Yes.
food too. Yeah.
Those are the big 3 for me. So, but
Yeah.
Mexican is slightly on top.
Wow.
So
we
we're
got a
5-5.
tie. We got a tie
Yeah, we
here.
did.
5-5.
Wow.
All right. So this next one is a very tough one. We have a rule here. So this one is plus or minus 1. I moved the 2. I moved it down to 1. Plus or minus 1. So you got to be within 1. How many girlfriends did your dad have before he met your mom?
Mm-mm. Do you know the answer to that question?
So the rules on the girlfriend was you had to be going out for 3 months
Okay.
and take them to dinner. That's the rule of the girlfriend. So Jack, you just got to throw a number out there because you have no idea.
Yeah. Man. I don't know. My gut is
To be
telling
honest,
me.
I didn't know. I had to literally go back and think for about an hour. But I think I got the number. I think it's accurate.
My gut is telling me 4. Oh.
The actual number is 8.
Oh, earmuffs, Jill.
My little angel.
Oh, man.
Well, that's why your mom grabbed him. You got to get him off the market.
I'm not sure it was that way, but I'll go with that if you want.
Okay, Stone.
Okay.
What's your number?
So 3 months feels like a long time to count a girlfriend, but I'm gonna go with 11.
Oh man, the plus or and it extended. The last number I gave Panda was 11, but then I was out and I went, oh yeah, I forgot about 2. The number's 13.
13.
Plus or minus 3. I had to write them down. I had to think about that.
Our memory isn't so good. So okay, we did that. I mean, it was fun. We didn't expect you to get that. So we're still 5-5 going into the last question.
Wow.
And this is a very This is
I changed the
another
numbers, Andy. This makes it a little harder.
Okay. I gotta relook at the. Now I gotta change my answer based on what you did. So okay, I'm gonna change my answer. So all right, whose turn? Oh, is it your turn? Go ahead.
No, it's yours. Even
Okay,
numbers.
yeah.
Yep.
All right, here we go. So Stone, is it your turn? Jack, your turn, I think. If your dad played a round of golf at Augusta, what would he shoot? And this is a multiple choice answer. So
Okay.
A, 90 to 99, B, 100 to 119, C, 120 to 139,
Thank you.
or D, 140 or above.
Okay. So it's not A.
No, it's not.
Get that out of the way. My final answer is going to be C.
That is what I chose as the answer.
Let's
120 to
go.
139. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Stone, do you A, 90 to 99, B, 100 to 119, C, 120 to 139, or D, 140 plus?
I wouldn't say this is a no-brainer, but I don't know if Steve's golf is where it used to be. I'm gonna go with D.
140 above.
140 plus. Ding, 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 ding.
All right. We have a tie. All right. 6-6.
That's honestly, that's why I put it in there. I went, there's no way. I know I'd be heading 140 plus. Easily hitting 140 plus. What is that? How many per a hole? That that's like hitting. That's a snowman every hole, right? 80 plus.
Good old
8, yeah.
eight.
Huh?
Said a good old 8 on every hole.
Yeah,
Yes.
that'd be about right.
Yeah.
Snowman in every hole. There
All
was
right.
no wrong answer. Oh, we had a tie.
We got a tie. That was our first You Don't Know Dad.
You don't know, Dad.
game. So that was fun. Thank
Mr.
you
Panda, lead us up. Segment number 2.
All right. Segment 2. All right. Questions for the group. And I know, Stone, you don't have one for this first one, but what was your first concert? So we'll start with there. Jack, give us your first concert you went to.
Okay. I thought for long and hard about this, and I actually don't know for certainty which one's my first one. But I think the concert with my earliest memory is actually a Philip Phillips concert,
Yes.
the American
Yes.
Idol winner. And I remember
Nice.
it being pretty good too, actually.
Did he play his
was-
one song and then he was done?
Pretty much. But it's a really good song.
Right, everybody in the crowd, woo! And everybody else only sit back going, I don't know what the hell else he's singing, but ugh.
I'm pretty sure we left early. Once he
Yeah.
played that song, I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
were about done.
It was at Kennesaw State. It was cold. It was windy. We was like, okay, time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we left. Yeah, that was your first one that I recalled.
Okay.
Yeah. Steve-O, what about you?
I always, my cousin took me to something of Kansas in Pittsburgh, but my memory of it is so blacked out. I don't really, I mean, it was just a kid. So I'm going with Phil Collins. I went in high school with the Susan Olds and Stacy Shane and the
wow.
Mr. Parmenter. Yeah, that was my first concert. I think 10th or 11th grade. So 11th grade.
That was a good crew you went with. Yeah. I did not go to a concert in high school. So my very first concert was my freshman year at Vanderbilt, and it was the Talking Heads. Amazing. I couldn't have picked a better band to have the first concert. Just
Going
amazing.
to the river.
Yeah, I mean, they
to the water.
yeah, I'm a big fan. So that was good first show. So
Don't you see
Thanks.
anything there in Auburn? Any good bands in Auburn?
There's been a couple. One called The Stews is pretty good.
hmm.
My knowledge on the bands that I've seen is not very high. That's about the only one I can name for you.
All right, then who's your two favorite music artists? Everybody, who is your two favorite music artists?
This is tough for me because I listen to a lot of different types of music, so I'm gonna go kind of
You
wild
do.
here. So my number one, I'm gonna go with Zach Bryan, country, and then number two, I'm gonna go wild. I'm gonna go with Travis Scott.
Nice. Love that.
I have no idea who Travis Scott is unless he's related to Randy Travis.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Yeah,
No.
I have no idea who that is.
some
I'm
rap,
sure it's
rap and
something you.
hip-hop.
I'm sure it's music you would never play for me while I'm sitting in your Jeep.
Nope.
Jack, who's your favorite? Two artists.
So my first favorite, ever since I've gotten into music, has always been Kanye West.
Yeah.
And that
was-
I used to actually like telling people that, but every year goes by, he says something stupider and stupider, and it gets even harder.
Do you like Bill Cosby too? No.
It gets hard saying that out loud, but I gotta be honest, his music is phenomenal. He is my favorite for sure. So yeah. And
Who
second, staying in rap, is Kendrick Lamar.
Who?
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick
That's a good
Lamar.
answer.
Is he a
Yeah,
basketball
that's-
player?
that's-
No.
He's related to Travis.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're brothers.
yeah.
They're brothers.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Panda,
yeah.
who's your favorite too? That's got to be pretty hard for you. You got so much music in your head.
Extremely hard for me. So I went down to what bands I've seen the most live. So I saw Rush, I think 6 times. I saw Matthew Sweet 7 times, and I think I've seen Cracker 8 times. So
Cracker 8 times?
Cracker, yes,
Really?
amazing band.
My favorite,
So-
I probably one of my favorite songs of him and Kenny Chesney, "When the Sun Goes Down." Man, I could listen to that all day long.
Uncle, yeah, that's Uncle Cracker.
Uncle Cracker. Oh no!
Not the
Oh.
same. Not the same.
See, my knowledge of music is so down the hole.
Yeah, you definitely know Cracker because I played them so much when you were living with me there in Buckhead. That album, when their first album came out, and that's when I became a fan. So, but Rush is generally been my favorite of all time. But I was like Def Leppard, Van Halen, like those heavy, growing up. But I would say that I really like Matthew Sweet, and probably would say Matthew Sweet is my second favorite. So I'll go with those two.
I'm boring. Give me the 70s, 80s. You know what I'm going to say, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, and be listening to them all day long.
Yeah.
What I sang to.
Classic,
and still listen to that. But there's so much good stuff. All right, this one for the boys here. We've been to a lot of shows. Mr. Panda's been a ton of them. But what's a concert you the boys? What would you like to go see? What's something out there? Jack, is there a concert out there you'd say I'd love to see this?
So today I was thinking about what to put for this because I've actually seen a good amount of people that I've already wanted to see. But funny enough, I saw a video today of a Coldplay concert, and it was unreal. I mean, the second I saw it, I knew that I was gonna put that for my answer. Like it was electric. I swear, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like
that's a great pick. I'd love to see Coldplay. Great
sure.
pick.
I haven't seen them. I would go. Jack, we'll go.
I'd love to see that. Yep.
Next time they're in town, we'll go.
I'd love that.
Okay, include me in on that one. I want to see Coldplay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Stone, what's yours?
Okay, so I've never been to a concert, obviously, so I don't have an idea of what it would look like. But I'm gonna go Zach Bryan is my number one. But I would really want to go to a Kid Cudi concert.
Oh,
I feel like his songs are really good to sing. You guys don't know who he is, but I think his songs are really good to sing along to, and I think he'd have a good concert.
For sure, yeah.
Nice.
Kid Cudi. Panda's already got 10 concerts lined up. We're going to the one I want to see is coming up. I love Train.
Oh,
That'd even be close to saying we've got a Train update coming up in, I think, August time frame.
That is right. Well, I wanted to answer this because initially I wanted to have an answer, and I was like, for me, it was going to be Led Zeppelin. I want to see Led Zeppelin like in the 70s, like before John Bonham died. Just never got to see them. So if I had to like pick one show, it would be Led Zeppelin from 1978 before they broke up. So that would have been my choice.
Mine's the remake of the Beatles. I really want to go see the Beatles.
Oh, yes.
I just want to hear. I'd love to hear the Beatles.
Yeah.
Their music's so pure. You saw the Stones. I'm so jealous of. I'd love to have seen the Stones. That's another one. Okay, so this is a big one for 20-year-olds. Your dads here are almost we're knocking on the door of 60. So you've got the next 40 years to put together a bucket list. And this is something I started putting together probably in 1995. I started every Christmas, I wrote down a list of things I wanted to do. And your dad and I have lived a lot of those things. Going to Italy, we've all did a little family vacation over there, so we've knocked quite a few off the list. Especially college football stadiums. So we've got quite a few. But you two are two young men. The audience love to know at 19 and 20 years old, what are the 5 things that top your bucket list? Stone, what's on your
Okay,
bucket
so
list?
this was a really hard one for me. I couldn't like get steady on 5 things that I'd completely want to do, but I'm gonna start with going to all sport events championships. I think that'd be something really cool through my lifetime, going to a World Series, going to the college football championship, the Super Bowl, everything. Should I go one at a time or should I go rapid fire?
Yeah,
Go ahead,
rapid
rapid
fire.
fire.
I'm gonna say going to somewhere foreign like Africa or Australia would be my next one. Kind of going somewhere remote and seeing how they live there and different animals and different things that I've never seen before would be pretty awesome at some point in my life. And then one thing that I could do this year that would definitely be on my bucket list would be to study abroad. That would be interesting, going to
Hint, hint,
Europe
hint,
or
hint, hint.
All on him. He just got to
but
go figure out how to go sign up for it.
that is
And don't
definitely
worry about somebody going with you.
that is definitely out of my comfort zone, but that is something that would be good for me if I did it. And then on my last one, I put something pretty obvious. I put getting married. Um,
Uh,
I want to get married
so-
one day. That's
Wow.
on the bucket list.
Hey,
Yeah, that's on the
listeners,
bucket
we've
list.
got
I'd love to
a
get
single
married.
guy right here. Hey, listeners, you can find him on Snapchat and whatever the other social media platform.
Find me on Instagram at stone.wheeler.
That's a good list, though, Stone. You did well. All
Nice
right,
job
Jack.
there, Stone. Jack, what do you
Yeah.
think?
Jack, what do you got?
All right. So number one for me on my list is leave the country. I've never once left the country. I've visited a lot of places in America, but I've never left. So that's definitely up there. I don't know where I would want to go, but somewhere. I just want to see what it's like outside of America. And
I hear Canada's pretty nice.
for my next one, I completely claim this city of Houston, but I have 0 memories of ever living there or being there at all. So I would love to go visit Houston, which goes perfectly into my third one, which is go to a Rockets game, specifically a playoffs game. But I haven't been to the playoffs in like 6 years, so that's going to be pretty tough. So I'll take just going to a game, but
Okay.
ideally be a playoff game.
Well, while we still have a connection with the Houston Rockets, I'll have to talk to your dad on this side to see if we can't work on those tickets and getting you in maybe the owner's box or somewhere close by.
That
Would be greatly appreciated. All right, I got 2 more. Next one is I'd really love to get a tattoo. Our whole family is considering doing some sort of matching tattoo. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I would love it for it to happen.
Cool.
And the last one is by far the most important one. Casey and Connor, I pray you're listening. When I'm 21, we're going to Vegas and we're going to the casinos. We're going.
Hey, can I tag along?
Of course, you are invited.
Oh boy! Wow. Yeah, that Jack. That's a good one. I think I was 21 when we took a trip out there right after college. 22. Yeah, with our good old muddy buddy, Dale Edwards.
All right. So next June, I think we're heading to Vegas.
Wow.
That's good.
Nice. That's
All
pretty
right.
good. I like that. And I think your matching tattoo should be Buckeyes. Big old Brutus.
Yeah. Well, I did a bucket list too, so I wanted to do mine, but I'll do them really fast so we can get through this. So I want to go to Alaska. I want to go to Australia. I want to see a concert at the Sphere in Vegas. So maybe
Oh,
next June, maybe Jack, we
Oh, here we
catch a
go.
concert. We're out there. I want to go to Pumapunku in Bolivia, which is these crazy ruins that no one can explain on top of a mountain in Bolivia. I just want to go there and check it out. Just mind-boggling to me. And then finally, I want to go see the Giza Pyramid in Egypt.
Oh wow.
wow. Nice. That's pretty good. I don't, I might. I've not the Egypt one. I feel a little uneasy about that one. And even going to the Africa deal, I'd probably do it, but just I'd like to have armed guards around me if I'm going to go do it. But I've got some friends. We've got friends going over to Africa here in the next month. Uh, my are easy. Retire. Yeah, I want to do when we retire. We want to take the RV and go follow game day for the 18 whatever weeks, and
That's
just wherever
awesome.
game day is going to be, try to show up in the RV if we've got enough time to drive it to the next one. Try to
That's
get
awesome.
there. Just hope they don't go from California to Maine or something crazy like that. South America is also on my list. We have not been to, so mucho Picchu. I've been wanting to get up there, but that Bolivia thing, Andy Young, that sounds like a pretty awesome. I've never heard that story before. I gotta do a little research on that. Sounds very interesting.
Research it, find something on YouTube, and you'll see these carved stones, like 70-ton stones that have laser cut inner cuts. And they're like, we can't do these today. And these were drug up a mountain and they were done like 3,000 years ago. Like, how's it even possible? So I just want to go there and understand, see it for myself. Okay.
Okay, who did we start off with? The favorite place on earth? Who is
So
go
who
ahead.
Jack this time? I think we started with Stone. So what's your favorite place on earth?
You get super specific. So my happy place and our happy place is Hilton Head, of course, but specifically in the pool with a cocktail in Hilton Head.
I love it. Very
That is the
specific.
best place on
Very
earth.
specific. Good one. Yeah, good one. Ah, yeah.
All right, I'm going to sign myself up for that exact same thing. So yeah.
Yes.
Stone?
I'm gonna go with the lake house. Going up to the lake, going up with friends, and just having a good time, going out on the boats and hanging out is just the best thing ever.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's awesome.
Pretty awesome. I can't go wrong with Hilton Head. I'm kind of same vote as the other three. I have to give a little side note too, but going to Maui, sitting in Hawaii in Maui and going, there's just so many things to do there. Riding the bikes to the town doesn't exist anymore. But Maui's awesome. Going up to the top of that mountain and riding bikes down the mountain was just awesome too. I gotta say that's another favorite place on.
Is that Haleakala? Is that?
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I
Sounds good.
might be getting my volcanoes mixed up.
Yeah, I forget. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah,
Remember
that was
riding the
a neat
bikes
one.
down the mountain stone
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
when Chloe wiped out?
She,
All
we
right,
still have that running joke.
so this is going to be to you guys that you're 20 years old. What do you think you're going to do as a career at 20 years old? Andy and I will answer it first about careers. For all of us, when you're 20, what the heck did you think you were going to be doing? You get your first 2 years of college. You have no freaking clue what's coming up next. Andy, what did you think at 20 you were going to be doing?
I had no freaking clue. So I was a computer science major. I changed majors like after the end of my third semester. So I'm coming up on 20. I'm just like, I just need to get through. So I did a business degree, econ degree. And by the time I graduated from Vanderbilt, I had no clue. I knew I was good with numbers. I ended up kind of doing accounting, did that for a while. And then I got my MBA to get out of accounting and did finance. And then I moved over to marketing and pricing and all that and kind of evolved from there. But at 20, the point is I had no clue. And guess what? It's okay to not have a clue at 20. Just keep making good decisions and you'll get closer to where you need to be over time. But yeah, I don't think my experience was too unique. Maybe an engineer like you, Steve, you kind of knew better what you wanted to do because you were kind of focused on engineering, but I didn't have a clue.
Oh yeah, I mean to Andy's point, I mean there's a couple things. Number one is um, the work hard. I mean that's what it's working hard, busting your tails from 20 to 35. That's the those are the years. Once you kind of get through those years, you can't be wondering at 35, what am I going to do now? You got to figure out in between there. But at 20, you said I knew what I was going to do. I was an electrical engineering major. I was the electrical engineering major till 21 when I went, I can't do this. I can't picture myself at 25 looking and doing all these calculations. And I mean, it was so freaking hard. And I'm thinking I'm going to be in the middle of a power plant or I'm going to be in the middle of a electronics manufacturing company doing calculations. Heck no. I mean, my role as electrical engineering was I tell the guys, go do the project, I'll do the presentation. There's no way I was going to do it. So what I knew something for me was I was going to stand up in front of people, talk and do engineering. Those were the only three things that were in the connection that I thought I'd go do as a career. It turned out pretty darn close.
Yeah,
Pretty close. So, Jack, any idea? What do you want to do?
Yeah. I mean, if you would have asked me a few months ago, I probably would have been completely clueless. But this summer, I was fortunate enough to get an internship with Casemate, and I've joined the creative team, and I've actually liked it a lot. So, graphic design is something that I'm super interested in. Really, anything in the creative team, like it's actually a lot of fun. I could see myself making that a career. So,
That's
I mean,
great.
yeah. So yeah, just
If you
that's
don't
pretty
do
much
it next year, I need UI help.
Yeah.
I need UI help on our mobile application.
That's his major,
Stone,
so he'll be able to help you next year, hopefully.
Stone, what do you think? What do you think you're going to be doing?
Honestly, anything I can get a job in. I'll take anything that they want to offer me the highest amount of money. I'll
So you can get your lake house and put a boat on it and go just hang out with the
that
boys?
sounds absolutely fantastic. But if I were to get more specific, just from my major, I'm an industrial and systems engineering major. So I'll go with managing a system or something in maybe even switch something in manufacturing or business. Whatever where my career takes me, I'm on that path.
You guys are way ahead of where Steve and I were at your age, so well done.
I'm going to jump in. We've got a couple minutes left. I'm going to jump ahead just because I want to get these answers out here. I'm going to jump ahead and go into the last segment here, college football. College football is upon us. This one may get a little dated if you're listening to this next year. That's okay. This is going to be the fun year. It's the first year we have 12-team playoff. So a lot of people get a jump into the mix. So first up here, I want to go put Jack. What do you think? Who's going to be the first? What two teams in the SEC are going to get to the championship game in the SEC championship?
Yep.
What's your two?
So I have UGA versus Bama. Pretty boring, but I considered it was Oklahoma now and there's Texas now, but I just don't think they're ready for SEC yet. I think it'll take a year, maybe even two, to completely adjust to it. And I think Bama, I know they lost Saban, but I think they're still going to be just as good. And I see UGA Bama for sure.
Well said. Stone, what do you think?
Are we going with SEC championship?
Just SEC championship first.
Okay, I've got three schools. I couldn't decide between two. I've got
You're so like your
Texas,
dad. You're so like your dad.
Texas, Georgia, and Ole Miss. So
Oh,
I'll stick with Texas, Georgia, but I would not be surprised if Ole Miss sneaks up in there and takes it.
Nice pick.
nice.
I'm with you. I'm kind of between both of you. I picked Ole Miss, Georgia. I think Texas' road to get there is going to be a little too hard. They've even got to play Michigan in this whole time period, and I think they'll beat them. But that takes a lot of toll. Those games that they've got, and they have quite a few away games. So I picked Ole Miss, Georgia. Panda, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with Georgia and Texas, but I think Kalen DeBoer is doing a great job at Alabama. I thought they were going to drop off pretty fast, but the way he's recruiting and with the guys he's got coming back, it wouldn't shock me if it was a traditional Georgia Alabama. But I'm just to be different. I decided to do Georgia Texas.
Have you looked at that guy's career record? The
It's
poor
pretty
man,
crazy.
holy crap,
Yeah.
everywhere he's gone. I think he
He
took
can
Fresno
coach.
State to a bowl game 2 years. He's
Yeah,
insanely good.
Yeah, he
Gets
can
to
coach.
Washington, he gets him into the national championship game.
Yeah.
He's a crazy good coach. I just think he had a few too many guys leave, but I almost picked Alabama there with Jack as well. All right, Andy, what do you think? Big Ten, who's it going to be? Who are the two?
Ohio State, Oregon. I think they're the cream of the Big Ten. I think they're going to play in October. I think Oregon might even win that game. I think they'll play again as a rematch, and I think Ohio State will win the rematch in the Big Ten championship.
Nice. That's a good call. Stone, what do you think?
I'm pretty boring. I've got the same exact thing. I think those two teams are the best teams in college football. If you had to ask me, I'm definitely putting them against each other in the Big Ten championship, in the national championship. I think those two teams are the best.
Wow, that's pretty good. Wow. If they could ever meet, they might meet up in the second round.
Right.
Yeah.
Jack, what do you think?
I don't
Big
know. I'm
Ten.
just not too sold on Oregon. It's completely a gut feeling. There's nothing else behind it. So I actually have, this might be a hot take, honestly. I have Ohio State and I have Penn State making it to the game.
Jack, you and I, baby. I've got the
There
same
we
thing.
go.
I'm not
Nope.
sold on the Pac-12 coming into the
I'm
Big
not
Ten, and I
I'm
am
not
not
either.
sold on it. That's
Yeah,
right.
I don't like Michigan that much, and we actually have to play Penn State in Penn State this year. So there's a chance that we lose to them.
Do you know who the sleeper is? Iowa. They
You
actually
see
have an
Iowa's schedule?
offense.
They don't have much of anything on that
Yeah, and
schedule.
their defense is locked and loaded. And if their quarterback can do, what he should do better, that's a surprise team potentially.
Ohio
Okay.
State's the toughest thing they have on their schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, they have some away games. I think Wisconsin and Nebraska, but their schedule is not. I think they take Washington, and Washington has what players returning from last year. They got nothing. They're going to be challenged.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Nebraska this year like that.
Oh, I know. I think Nebraska's going to be pretty good this year.
Yeah.
I think they've got the 5-star freshman that's going to be starting. Yeah, it's going to be. They're going to be interesting. If you look at their schedule, they could be 7-0 rolling into Buckeyes. They have a chance of being 7-0. Now, if you look at that after that, they probably won't win a game. That first 7 look pretty promising. They can play. All right. National championship game. I am going with, of course, we're all homers on Ohio State, but I'm picking my wild card. I didn't have them in the championship for the SEC, but I think later in the season, Sark will figure it out. I'm saying Ohio State versus Texas.
Wow.
I'm saying Ohio State, Texas. I like Texas. I like Sark. I think as the season goes on, and if Ewers gets hurt, we have our quarterback coming in. We're going to see a Manning in at the end of the year, and that's going to be the difference.
Wow. Nice call.
What do you think, Jack? Who's your teams?
As long as they're on different sides of the bracket, I think it's inevitable that we see Ohio State, Georgia in the championship game.
Rematch, baby!
Rematch!
Strike midnight and give me
Yes.
give me the field goal that we
It's
made.
going to go the other way this year.
How's our kicker? Do we have a better kicker this time?
I don't think so.
I don't even know. Is our kicking game? Our punter's good, but I don't remember the. I don't remember.
Kicker's fine. He's fine, but he's not elite.
Okay.
That's
So
my
Stone,
call.
you still
Ohio State, Georgia. Sorry.
you
So
still
I'm just-
calling Ohio State, Oregon?
I am, but if I had a sleeper in there, I didn't pick Alabama in my SEC championship, but I take them out of the SEC championship. They sneak into the playoffs and make it Ohio State, Alabama.
Oh,
Nice.
That would be sweet. That would be an interesting time in the Wheeler household if that happened. Oh my God.
Stone and I will be in the RV at some camp training. We will
Love
not
to
be
see that.
him being Auburn and me going, oh, the guy I can't hear it. La 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 la. Sorry, honey, I do love you. Well, boys, this has been a great show. Did a good job. Great guest this week. We love our two first listeners. I know Connor. I know Casey. You're there too.
There we go.
Chloe.
Great show. Stay tuned, everybody. We've got another guest coming on in the probably talk a little college football. We're starting to get there with a few segments. Anything else there, Andy? I've got Stump the Panda question here for you.
Let's
So
do
we're
it.
going to end it, the Stump the Question. So this is also a quote from a movie. It's a quote from a movie, and you'll probably get this.
Okay.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. What movie?
Wait a minute.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Wait a minute. So Airplane was where the origination of that came from. This is not that quote, though. Stop calling me Shirley.
You got it. We'll leave it there. You got the answer.
Okay, it's
It
Airplane. Okay. All right, good.
He says to the pilot, "Can you fly this plane and land it?" Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
There you go.
And my other favorite line in there is, "We have clearance, Clarence." Roger, Roger. What's your vector, Victor?
Yeah, that's a classic.
For anybody who's not seen Airplane movie, for all the young kids, man, that is one of the best old-time funny movies and the one-liners ever.
Yeah, that is a classic.
All right,
Great
boys.
show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for next week. We got another great guest. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks all.